Good Saturday morning, everyone. This is Trucker Wayne on Facebook, Wayne Craig on LinkedIn. South Haven, Michigan. Go Blue. Yes, we're going to be number one seed. So, hey, I talk a lot about turnover, among other things. But one of the things I wanted to talk about, because the trucking industry does like to actually think of themselves as really special. And they are. We keep America rolling. But one of the things is I was in hospitality management for 7 years before truck driving. And did you know that the hospitality industry brings in 1.2 or 1.3 trillion dollars to the American economy, and trucking is 700 billion, 800 billion dollars. So it's actually a little bit more for hospitality. And hospitality and trucking actually have a lot of the same issues. And turnover is one of them. If you're watching this right now and your recruiting department is your biggest department, your most important department, it's the wrong department to have as the most important one. You know it, you deep down know it, but it's the only way you ever do business. I have a history of it. 3 major properties turning around over 100% turnover, 80, 90, 100% turnover. So today I'm going to talk a little bit specifically, and I'm going to name names because they have no problem. You guys can check this out if it was true or not. But I worked in Pacific City, Oregon for almost 2 years at the Quanda Hospitality Group. When I took over the Quanda Hospitality Group, it was right before the Great Recession. There was like 12, 13 department heads. I was our directors of housekeeping operations. You had maintenance and all that. They had like 12. When I left, there was 2, me and the director of maintenance. But there was a reason why they kept me on during their most difficult times. So right before the Great Recession, I started to take over the Quanda Hospitality Group, 4 separate properties. Short Pine Vacation Rentals, if you've ever been to Pacific City, is one of them. 42, $500,000, $750,000 homes, probably $1 million homes now. 42. So you can imagine at 42 homes in the summertime for 6 months, huge moneymaker, huge. Now we all know if you stayed in a rental home, you have a cleaning fee. Ours, when I came on, was 65 to 85, depending on the size of the house. I actually structured that different and made it all the same after a while when we got our stuff together. But it was almost like legally laundering money, because what we'd do is clean. When I came on, there was 100% turnover. We could never keep the housekeepers enough to go clean them rooms. So they would leave, and the family of two would actually, and you hear the dog barking again, the family of 2, like 25 people, 2 different families would come in, clean. We would just hand that cleaning fee over, just hand it over to them. While we were just collecting it, giving it to them. They did a very poor job. They did such a bad job on it. We actually had a budget to help take care of their mistakes. So with 100% turnover, with not being able to keep the housekeepers in-house to clean these internally, we were paying someone to do it. They were doing such a bad job. We had a budget, but just like in trucking, if the money is flowing in and you're making this amount and you're paying this amount, but you're still making a profit, it was okay. When I took over, I was told by the owner and the president of the Quanda Hospitality Group, you couldn't internalize housekeeping. They've tried for 10 years. Trucking, 10 years, having the turnover that it has. I don't listen to stuff like that, everyone. You know this. I do things differently here. I am sometimes a lone wolf saying what has to be said. I have no problem who watches it, who comes to the page, who likes it. The majority of the people there when I showed up said it couldn't be done. They tried for 10 years, and I set out right away because they hired me in late October. I had till summertime to figure this thing out, to try to get a department ready to be able to sustain and keep housekeepers enough where we could internalize housekeeping. And, I had to go the winter with these family doing a horrible job. Turds in toilets, still wet stuff in the dryer, not done. Just unacceptable things. So a good 4 months went by. They were doing a very poor job. I started to change the culture within even 4 months. 2 people turned into 4 people, turned into 8 people, turned into 16 people. The word was getting around that it was a pretty cool department to work with. Yes, I was extremely strict. I had standards. In my 7 years, I only had 2 times did I miss a check-in time, right? But they weren't even there yet. So yes, I had extreme high standards, but I also knew how to balance that with making sure we keep our employees. So come 4 months later, I actually had built a group. I was over budget because I knew I wanted to push them over to Shore Pine Vacation Rentals. I ended up right before summer firing the 2 families. I gave them notice way before that. They were doing a horrible job and they knew it, and they kept doing the same things. So it was over and over and over again, and they were contracted, so it wasn't like I had to go through human resources. So when I did fire them, it was kind of funny. We're about 30 miles away from the closest police department, and lo and behold, at the realtor place there, they threw rocks through the window, and it made everyone all upset. Me, I'm just sitting there kind of giggling. I was giggling, going, well, how many times are you going to do this? Because this is a gold mine. It's a gold mine. So I told everyone, relax, take it out of my budget. And I was over budget because I had the extra employees, but I was like, look, you guys, give me the summer, man. I don't, all this other stuff, you guys worrying about 4 months being over budget. This is a gold mine. This Shore Pine Vacation Rentals is going to solve everybody's woes and issues and everything else. It's going to be a gold mine. I said, just relax. So I paid out of my budget to get the windows fixed, and they did it again the next weekend, fixed it again. Finally, they just gave up. I internalized the housekeeping department. There was a lot of work. I only have 10 minutes to talk about this, but this was a lot of work. This was a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. This was a lot of doing it differently to keep the people. Nobody understood what they thought was my madness, but yet lo and behold, I kept the employees. I changed the culture. That's what you don't get in the trucking industry. You just keep doing the same thing over and over, and when someone wants to come in and change, the CEOs and the people above in the C-suite is like, they can't handle having 6 months of even a couple of, well, Wayne doesn't know what he's talking about, fire him, get rid of him. And I was there sitting there going, give me a chance, fire me in the end of September and October if things don't work out. And they did, luckily for them, because they had the stomach. They kind of saw what was going on, and word was getting around that the turnover had stopped, and I was bringing people, and the word was you could work there. So fast forward to the summertime, it was tough. I was lean and mean, and with 42 homes, I had to have some help once or twice from the front desk. They came in and actually did the laundry because the houses did not want to go to the same laundry, and laundry, if I put 2 people in, it takes 2 hours to clean, 4 hours total, and the laundry's never done. So I had to have some help during all this, but let me tell you what happened by the end of September, okay? I'm taking care of 4 different properties at that point. The cottages at Cape Kiwanda, the inn at Cape Kiwanda, the Shore Pine Vacation Rentals, and a little rinky-dink 15-room hotel. And by the time it was all done, Shore Pine Vacation Rentals was paying somewhere about 6, 7, 8 housekeepers, and was paying half my salary. Yeah, you heard that right. During the Great Recession, I brought in a department that he said 10 years couldn't. I stopped the flow of people leaving, and Shore Pine Vacation Rentals was paying the we were paying our employees, right? So it was staying inside the Kiwanda Hospitality Group, and it was paying half my salary every single week, every single month. Listen, you don't understand what is available to you when you have 100% turnover. You may be doing great. Your quarterly things, they did great in the summertime. There was nothing to sneeze at in the summertime. They were able to go to the owners. Even the owner didn't think we could internalize it. But once it started rolling, forget all the other properties. 42 homes was a gold mine that they were sitting on, saying it couldn't be done. This is what the trucking industry does every single day. This is what the CEOs do every single day when their recruiting department is the most important. I always, in my mind, I didn't say it out loud, but when I came on to 3 different properties, you know who I put on notice in my head was a recruiting department, the people hiring these people nonstop. If your recruiting department is the most important, if your recruiting department is the most money you're spending on, and you're unwilling to give someone like me or somebody else a chance to turn things around because you don't have the stomach to see what your company, your department could look like without turnover, then you deserve everything coming your way when it comes to all this turnover. You have to have the stomach. You have to be able to say that person has a plan. I had a plan. The plan was to keep the people, because you don't understand, and they didn't understand how much at stake was when you could keep that kind of money. It was huge during the Great Recession. That's why I kept my job, and the maintenance guy kept his job, because Shore Pine Vacation Rentals was going strong, going huge. And, it's huge that you can keep your job during the Great Recession, and we're having a tough time right now. This is Trucker Wayne on Facebook, Wayne Craig on LinkedIn. Remember, everyone, 100% turnover has gotten us to where we are today. Y'all ignore it. You do. I'm the one bringing it up, along with truck parking and a bunch of other issues. Don't ignore it anymore, because it's why we are where we're at. I'm out. Peace.